This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, this is going to be really good for my brain, hopefully everybody else's brain. But for years, I would be in a good mood. I'd, drive into work and, then you go through the headlines of the day. And by the time I was done with those, I was in a horseshit mood. And I just realized I want to read these every day now as a cathartic way of moving forward in my life because it's only gotten worse. This is the AP. Remember I asked you guys the most even keel news agency?
Yeah, Very even keel.
Very even keel, AP. Teen charged with killing 4 at Georgia high school had been focus of earlier tips about threats. A list of mass killings in the United States. And I'm not making this up, by the way. These are the top stories at AP. A list of mass killings in the United States this year. The arrest of a former aide to New York governors highlights efforts to root out Chinese agents in the United States. Yeah, this woman in New York had an aide for like 20 years, and she was a Chinese agent.
I saw that. That's like TV level, like
super spy.
Yeah,
it really is.
That's almost like, did somebody's TV sitcom get leaked? And then somebody took it as news, but no, it's real life, just weird.
It's unbelievable what's going on. Well,
crazy.
We'll get to something else in a minute. And I don't have a dog in this fight. It's just the filth that people have turned into now.
Yeah.
Okay. Community mourns for victims of Georgia school shooting. Opening statements are scheduled in the trial of a man who killed 10 at a Colorado supermarket. These are all the actual headlines. The only one that isn't about killing somebody is jury selection will begin in Hunter Biden's tax trial months after his gun conviction. So I guess there is a violence. Well, it's not really violence, but it is a gun conviction. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I used to fall for that every day. And I just realized that being on this show, that I used to fall for this crap every day because you can't go anywhere anymore. It's all just really negative because apparently that's what sells. You know? So I'd be in a great mood coming in like, oh, we got great, the Twins got their ass kicked yesterday, but, I still think, all these positive things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I started falling for this, and I wish I hadn't fallen for it all those years ago and just putting a horseshit mood every day because this is and it's gotten much worse instead of better. So I do understand you're trying to make money at AP and Star Tribune and, Wall Street Journal, all these places. You're in the business of making money, but it's the lying part of it that I don't like. When you start lying about things, you see this latest thing that came out about Amazon. Well, it's actually about Alexa. That's owned by Amazon, is it not?
Yeah, that's like their version of Siri or OK Google.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happens when you go to Alexa and say, Alexa, tell me about Donald Trump? It says, I cannot talk about specific. And look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just telling you, I'm sick of the lies, and I want to expose as many lies as I possibly can for the rest of my career. So, yeah, it says I can't talk about specific parties or people running, blah, 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 blah. 5 seconds later, the woman asks Alexa, tell me about Kamala Harris. Oh, many good things about Kamala Harris. So it literally goes on just in a rant about how wonderful Kamala Harris is, but she can't even talk about the other guy. And so they went to Amazon and said, look, this is what you've got on your system. They said, oh, that was a glitch. Yeah, we're sorry about that. That shouldn't have happened. It was a glitch. No, it wasn't. You did it on purpose, you lie sack of shit. And I'm never buying something from Amazon as long as I live, at least until 2 days from now.
I was going to say that's very tough to do because
it's kind of tough to do these days.
When you can click on the large bucket of cheese puffs and it'll be here tomorrow, it's hard to pass up.
Look, I mean, it's a situation where I'm just sick to death of. I got no problem with Democrats. I got no problem with Republicans. I tend to be a centrist. I don't want to be in either party, but it's not that I hate them. It's just it's not a good fit. Why do we put up with this lying, the nonstop lying that people do? And it's getting worse and worse and worse on a national level. There's no question about it. To make my position clear, here are the top 4 things on the AP topics.
Yeah.
Number 1 is abortion. It's none of my business. First of all, you do what you do. I've never been involved in an unwanted pregnancy or an abortion or anything like that. Doesn't mean I'm better than you. It just means I was never involved, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So you be you, right?
Yep.
Next one is LGBTQ. same-sex couples and LGBTQ plus activists rally in Nepal's capital during the annual Pride Parade. Again, I grew up with many gay people. A couple of my best friends, men became women. And again, the lies that were told about that, about me, they just lied their ass off, and they knew they were lying, but that's all right. I know what I believe. You be you. Once again, you go out, whatever your situation is, you be you, and everything will be good. Then we move on to shootings. Munich police kill an armed man. Getting sick of reading about people being shot to death in the streets, aren't you?
Yeah, and in the schools with what
in
happened in what was it?
Georgia,
right? Yeah,
yep.
It's terrible to keep hearing about that. It seems like there's a new one every week, which is just awful.
Yeah, so I mean these, and again, I just finally realized, maybe it was on the way in this morning, that I've been getting sucked into this for about 30 years, and I've just gotten sick of it. The lying that people do, and it's not to support a candidate, it's for them to make money. Please understand that. Whether they're supporting Donald Trump or they're supporting, Kamala Harris. You notice I do say her name right, unlike anybody else on the planet. You have noticed that, right?
Yeah. You at least do the bare minimum when talking about somebody else's, like they're saying their name right. Everybody else butchers every name in the history of names.
Do they do that Kamala thing on purpose?
I would assume there's probably some people that do it on purpose, but
Probably.
I think other people might just be a little
I also heard one guy call her Kamala.
Well,
I mean, like the cigarette?
my favorite is when it's somebody that a talking head on TV or whatever,
Mhm.
and I know that they have said it correctly, and then for a segment they switch, and it's like, man, you know what you're doing.
No, it's absolutely true. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we can come together? And by the way, the further apart they keep people from the left and the right, the more money they're going to make. So look, we're in this position for a reason. We're in this situation, in this position, because people in major corporations are making huge amounts of money about your anger toward the other party. Don't even give them that. Seriously, stop fighting over it. Try to come together on a couple of things. We'll start with one thing we can agree on. It's hurting you, me, everybody out there, while these guys make billions of dollars. How can people not see that?
I feel like a lot of people just don't want to.
Yeah, they said that's a good observation. I think they just don't want it part of their lives, I guess. But the problem is you're being abused on a daily basis because you don't have the time to think about it or whatever. And I'm not telling you who to vote for at all. You vote for who you vote for if you think they're going to do the best job. But we have got to do something about this hatred that these political candidates spew, and they all do it. I mean, it's this guy's the worst human being ever. I mean, I say that about you guys after the show when you're not here.
Understandable.
That's just a different deal, though,
Right, but you're not buying TV ads. And my name is Tom Barnard, and I endorse this message.
Actually, I just bought a whole line of ads on television. You guys will be on there.
Chris Egert's just doing like voiceover for.
Egert doing the voiceover on Nailing You Guys. Look at this jerk. Yeah, that'd be great. Wonderful. So I guess what I'm saying is it took me all these years to wake up to the fact that I was being forced into corners by, it's my job to read the news every morning, but it would piss me off every morning. And I don't want to be pissed off anymore. I'm a happily married man with a couple of kids with almost any day now, our fourth grandchild arriving. We went out to Maynard's on the beach last night and had a little dinner because it was Dan's birthday, my son-in-law's birthday. I have a wonderful life, except when I'm reading the news. So I've decided to change that part too. You guys be you. You do whatever you want to do. Uncle Tommy will be here in the middle because I got nothing to gain or lose by joining either party. Now, I got nothing against the Democrats or the Republicans. I just don't want to be one. I was invited to be in a street gang when I was a kid, and I said, nah, I don't want to be. He said, come on, man, you got to get in our club. We got the jackets and we got everything. And I'm like,
well, matching apparel. How could you turn that down, Tom?
Matching apparel, baby. And, the next time I talked to most of them, it was while I was visiting one of them in prison. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There you are.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Well, the guy just shot like 6 people. But other than that.
Yeah, no, gangs aren't all they're cracked up to be.
No, they really are.
The whole hey, you want to be in our club? We're going to all beat the piss out of you, and then you can be in. I'm good on that.
Oh yeah, what's it called again?
Getting jumped in.
Jumped in.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I'm good.
You're getting jumped in by us kicking the piss out of you.
Nah.
And it's like, all right, hey, pal, what's up, friend? No, you just broke my nose.
Yeah. You know, let me tell you something. I can't talk because you broke my nose. And yeah, great. So yeah, I will strive. What I'm saying is I can't make a promise, but I will strive to not be so negative about the news. But all these years, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and they're using me, and I'm not going to let them use me anymore. I can't react to their horseshit news. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
We'll take a break. Be right back. Some loser's coming on. What's his name again? I can't. And, you know, he can't bring a win home to the Twins ever since these guys been on the show. You know.
Well, that's why we got the Vikings coming up, because they're gonna stack up the wins this year.
How high is that stack?
Wait a minute. Why
About
are you
six?
Six out of 18 now? Is that what it is?
17. So yeah,
Oh, it's only 17. It's going to be 18.
Yeah, it'll be 18. So.
Yeah, they'll expand, no doubt.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Judd Zulgad, our pal, will join us right after this. Beer, food, Vikings, and real-life jousting. The only place you can find all these things together is the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival, happening weekends now through September 29th, plus Labor Day and September 27th. Located at the Renaissance Festival grounds in Shakopee, it's fun for the entire family as you venture around the grounds, finding amazing food and drinks, tons of different street acts, live music, and full armored jousting. Would you guys do that, full armored jousting?
Absolutely not.
No. You think you might be a target? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm too. Yeah, nope.
I'm too. Yeah, nope.
Yeah, I would be the worst ever at that. Just
No, I might be.
I don't think I could even stand the horse.
Well, there you go. I understand that. Like to live on the edge? Try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow. See, these things I would like to do. Climbing a rock wall. I don't know about that one, but you know. Test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages, featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and crafts events. Plus, with over 250 artisans and shops around the festival, you may just find something that scratches your medieval itch. Visit RenaissanceFest.com now for discount tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit RenaissanceFest.com today.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all of your continued support. I got to stop doing that. Every time I start this commercial, I go, Mike Lindell. I slide into it.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready. Oh, I used to like that a lot. So let me start this again. Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code Tom, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98. Take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale. From the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code Tom and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Tom.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You know, there's big sports news on the front page of the Star Tribune this morning. And I don't know if you've seen it or not yet, but this is huge news. So I'm glad that Judd's with us because he's an expert on sport.
What is it?
So we got Tevin, we got AJ, we got Judd, and I'm just, the moderator. Target Field wins anti-terrorism safety designation. That's one of the lead stories in the Star Tribune, that you might not suffer a terroristic attack when you're at Target Field. It's like, my God, the world has fallen apart.
Yeah, if I'm the Target Field folks of the Twins, I don't know. I'm thrilled that that's out there. Like,
I agree.
You're putting that, you're planting that seed in the brain of people that I would say it's fair to say many of whom are looking to not go downtown to start with.
Right.
Right. So now it's like, hey, it's not just violence downtown. There could be a terror attack, but there probably won't be a Target Field. Yeah, you're
walking to your car maybe, but not a Target Field.
Wow.
I mean, what the hell? Target Field wins anti-terrorism safety designation that includes reduced liability. So they go right to they're going to save money because of that. That's not the point. Jesus.
I do know that the Vikings are, I believe, if it's not done yet, it's probably close. They're constructing that huge fence around their stadium.
Yeah. Yep.
And part of why they said it was so that, like, if you have a vehicle, let's just say, God forbid, loaded with explosives, you can't break through that fence. So I would look for the fine folks at U.S. Bank Stadium to soon win also an award for being safe from terrorism.
Anti-terrorism, no question. Do you think we will ever, because the lying media, I want to check out someday how the world changed after radio started way back in the early, late 1800s, I guess it was. Then when television started.
Yeah.
Then when, being online started. I guarantee you it pissed people off at every point because people used it to lie to them to make money. I guarantee you that happened, and I haven't even checked on it yet.
I'm sure you're right. Yeah. Well, and what? Like, yeah, and it's incredible because now you've got, and my God, it's not just TV, but you've got all of these media forms that operate like Homer sports channels, Republican channel, Democrat channel. But I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Imagine this, Tom. Imagine if in the 50s and 60s, especially, and you know what, the 70s too. Imagine if we had the access that we do now, with God. Twitter and Instagram. Like just, it's funny. I think that there's this whole thing of, well, the world has gone to hell, and it's like, okay, so you're telling me in the 60s, if you could have communicated like you can now, which is everyone has a communication device to receive and send, right?
Yep.
The 60s were a gong show to start with. It would have been even worse.
Oh, much.
It's just the mediums. It's just the forms. It's not nothing has really changed. Generations do, and people change a little bit, but it's not this whole thing of, well, look at, I love when we see a video now and it's like, look at what's happened to our world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same things were going on 60 years ago.
Yep.
We just didn't have access to Twitter to say, look at how bad a parent that person is.
Yeah, and please understand, ladies and gentlemen, they understood immediately that lying to you would make them a lot of money, and we've been suffering through that. I'm sure ever since they maybe sent the Dead Sea Scrolls, maybe. Who knows?
Oh yeah, this goes way back, and it's true. If you think about it too, it's true across how many things and platforms, because it's it's politics, it's religion, it's sports.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
There's a network here that carries the local team's games, and I think the Twins guys now are actually really good. The Wolves guys are good, but the Wild guys would have you believe this team is great every single freaking year.
Well, that's been going on for a while.
But people are gullible, so like it works. It works because people want to believe stuff, and like this is why I don't understand a lot of things, but I guess I don't understand the number one, the humans have tells, very big tells, right? One, free stuff. It's unbelievable. They are like my dog when they see a treat, and I'm talking about like a free t-shirt, just a piece of crap.
Right.
But it's also like the willingness or want to bury your head in the sand.
Yep.
But I blame humans. Like the media is exploiting them, but they're allowing themselves to be exploited. So
no doubt about it.
I blame I blame the humans. What are we doing?
That's what I was just talking about. The fact that I fell for very quickly. I used to come into work, great mood, left the family, kissed Catherine goodbye. Well, not at 3:30 in the morning when I was on the morning show. That
Get
wasn't
your ass kicked if you kiss her goodbye at 3:30.
Exactly. Don't be sneaking up on me for a kiss like
Mhm.
that. But I'd be in a great mood. I'd drive into the station and, hey, how's everything going? I'd sit down and read news. I'd be in a terrible mood like 15 minutes later. And I'm not letting that happen to me again. It took all these years for me to realize watching these people lie to you. And please understand something. They're lying to you to piss you off because that's how they make all their money. Don't fall for this.
Right, but that's the only way it stops.
Yeah.
If you don't fall
the
for
only
it.
way it stops. If you don't fall for it. I mean, some of these lies that we're seeing in the press now, of course, to find the lies in the press, you have to look through all the violence going on in the country because people hate one another because they're being told they should hate one another.
Yeah. Well, and now we've opened. Yeah, and I mean, there are things now. I can't imagine being a parent as first of all, but a grade school kid or a kid in school now with the fear of being shot at school.
Oh God, yes.
That's incredible. That one never crossed my mind as a kid.
Well, North Side kind of did anyway.
Well, you might, yeah, it's true.
Kind of did a little bit,
But I mean, I was worried about my school catching on fire, right? Because you'd have fire drills, and when you're little, you're like, oh my God, my school might catch on fire and I might die. But I never thought of, I wonder what happens if so there is some incredible stuff, but I think part of our problem too, as people, is we either need to be glass half full, which okay, or half empty. And it's like, I think we need to function as, life is life.
Yep.
So like, you don't need to be on top of the world the entire time. It's not necessary. And you don't need to assume that there's no bad, but you also don't, the whole thing of like being purposefully naive is what I don't understand.
I would agree with that 100%. And I do think we've gotten to the point, and we can, notice that we're doing a really good job avoiding talking about the horseshit twins. And I'd like to point that out.
Yeah, because you know why the glass is half empty.
Yeah, it is half empty.
Or more.
That might be optimistic to assume it's half empty.
Yeah, exactly right. You see what I bring to the show? I bring optimism, boys.
Optimism to the show. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole situation. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, they're buying your basic anger. I'll give you an example. I decided that I'm not going to post anything negative on Facebook ever again. There's just way too much stuff on there. The only negative thing I posted today is Catherine kicked my ass in a round of golf again yesterday, and I'm getting really tired of it. But what are you going to do?
You brought that on yourself by playing.
I did. You're absolutely right. But what's kind of unfair about that? Catherine is like 5'10", 5'11", very thin. I mean, with that body, you better be a good golfer.
Oh, yeah.
I got all this crap to hey, when I used to weigh 315, that was a lot of stuff to turn, man.
I mean, it never stopped John Daly.
Get away from me.
He was an all-star golfer.
Still a great golfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a raging alcoholic either.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time.
Yeah, I don't think. I was going to
It's
say,
time to step up.
he's
now.
drinking Diet Cokes and chain smoking cigarettes.
He was. Diet Cokes. He absolutely.
And eating candy.
And eating candy, too.
Eating candy by the handful.
Is he on the tour at all anymore?
I think he does like senior events.
Or does he?
Yeah.
Okay. I always found him entertaining. I will tell you that. There's no question.
I know he does a lot of the like family where they pair up with his.
Sure.
He'll play with his kid,
Yep.
who I guess is also a really good golfer.
I could see that. But yeah, I always enjoyed the clothes that he used to wear on golf courses.
It's like an American flag pants or something.
Yeah.
I miss him. He's wonderful. No
All
question.
custom made, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that stuff all had to be custom made because that
One of one, because nobody else would be caught dead in some of the stuff he was wearing.
Well, and the size.
Yeah, that's a big. It's weird. I walked by. Catherine and I went for a walk yesterday, and I walked by a store and saw my reflection in a window. I had no idea I got this thin. I honestly got it. I looked in the mirror, like, holy Christ. Like when you're inside the body, you don't really realize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was shocked at how much, I've lost 90 some pounds, I guess.
Wow.
91 pounds. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is 91 pounds because I'm going to lose 101, get down to 214, and I was at 224 this morning. It's just, I had no clue. So thanks for not telling me, you pricks. I could have been in a great man. Tom, you look great. No, you guys didn't do that. Of course.
Well, hold on a second. I see you in a camera shot like
that's
this.
True.
So I would have I can't tell as much aside from your face. I can't tell. So I'm going to absolve myself. Tevin and AJ, I don't know what their excuse is.
All right, we do have to. I know we only got a couple of minutes left. We do have to talk about baseball. We got to talk football and baseball.
Do you want to do it? All right. So the Twins did lose 9-4 last night. Poor Louis Varland got the first 6 guys. He's doing fine, and then they give up an 8th spot, and they're not playing well. And so they got an afternoon game today against Tampa. It's the end of a 4-game series. If they win, they split. If they don't, they lose 3 of 4, which we've talked about. I mean, that's atrocious. And then they go to Kansas City for what is a damn big series. They got games against Kansas City and Cleveland left. But again, it's unbelievable because like they're still, I think, 4.5 up in the wild card, Tom.
God, they're not good. I'm sorry.
They keep saying that, and the rest of the league's like, no, you can have it. You take it. We don't want it.
Exactly.
And like you've said, and it's been glaring of late. Their fielding is just atrocious.
Defense is the worst I have ever seen it in baseball. It's terrible.
And theirs is right now, the way they're going, they're at the top of the list for that. I mean, just the amount of mistakes and not just errors. I'm saying like mental errors, like stupid routes to balls, like things that don't get put down on the scorebook. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why'd you have spring training?
Yeah, why even bother?
Yeah, that's the whole point of spring training is to iron stuff like that out. So, and Correa is still out. Buxton's on a rehab assignment. Actually got tossed from the game last night. He got pissed off. He got tossed. I think he got tossed on purpose. I think he's like, I've had enough of this AAA crap. Correa's out, and then the National Football League openers tonight, Kansas City and Baltimore, and then tomorrow on Peacock only, we've got the Packers and the Eagles from Brazil, where they've told the players don't leave your hotel rooms.
And don't wear too much of your own team's colors.
Really?
Yeah. So is that real? Like there was a report a while back about the fact that like green was a gang color in Brazil, and they backed off that. But they did tell the play. I mean, they specifically told the players don't leave your hotel.
Yeah. Well, they're staying at a hotel that's directly connected to the airport. So technically, they're not even leaving the airport unless it's on the bus to the stadium and back.
Is this really necessary?
No. I understand maybe like the Mexico City game or whatever, because it's like right there. I can understand the London game. I guess you're gonna get your cash grab there. There's no reason to play, in my opinion, a regular season game in Brazil or Germany or Singapore or continental United States.
But if there is a team that's perfect to send overseas anywhere, the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep, perfect.
Wow. Wow. I got the vibe from that comment.
Well, Tevin just told me they don't wear body armor, so I understand what he's talking about. You trying to get him bumped off, are you?
I mean, if one of the players doesn't make let them throw off their
that was Tevin
with a 10-hour flight, and any advantage the Vikings can get, we'll take.
Do we know where they're playing? Are they playing at like just a repurposed like soccer stadium? I'm assuming.
I guess I have no idea.
What I'll say is that might be the only like upside here is that I've heard nothing but about the U.S. tours from soccer players about how bad like MetLife Field is, where the World Cup final is going to be, and all these other stadiums. The only thing is maybe these football players step foot on there and they're like, you know what? This is the best grass, best kept field I've ever had in my life. And then maybe that gets repurposed here. So we have less injuries to star players.
And then run for your life.
Yeah.
Because the fans are storming the field. Hey, this grass is great, but why are these people with machine guns all around here?
Well, they thought they were in an apartment building in Colorado.
Oh my God. And that I guess I saw a report that happened in Chicago a couple days ago.
In Chicago too. Yep. And they're Venezuelan. Apparently the Venezuelans are all pissed off at us. It's like, okay. Well, let me close with this. I've been to France, but I've never been to Paris. I've been to Italy, but I've never been to Rome. And I've always wanted to go to Rio de Janeiro. And I'm being told if I'm going to any of those three, you better go to Rome, because apparently Paris is not as, they got major problems with the same deal. People packing heat and people getting injured and the deal. Now you tell me this about Rio de Janeiro. I've always wanted to go to Rio de Janeiro.
Paris? I didn't know that.
I guess Paris is very dangerous right now.
I heard it's a dump.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
I don't know about this. I don't know about the safety, but I hear it's just not a. It just smells constantly.
And they hate us. They hate Americans.
Yeah. That's
hate
fine.
Americans
I don't like them too much either.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do they hate Americans? What do we do?
I don't. Well, I think they think probably rightfully so. We're super arrogant. So like,
Well,
they don't want to. It's, you know, a lot of the European culture speaks perfect English, so we can go there and communicate. And of course, guys like me have no idea how to speak another language. I think in Paris they don't want to help you, so they don't speak.
What do you mean? You know how to speak Paris? That you know how to speak French? That was fantastic.
Paris? How do you speak Paris? Eiffel Tower.
Paris.
Oui.
Fantastic.
Eiffel Tower. That's all I want to see.
Get a couple of wee-wees in there and you're good to go. Oh, well, good. This is a good one to close on. My wife and one of her friends goes to Paris years ago, and there is a restaurant somewhere on the Eiffel Tower. I don't know if it's at the top or the middle or where the hell it is, but there's a restaurant. And they go in, and the server comes over to ask them, would you like a glass of wine or a bottle of wine? And Catherine's friend said, yes, what would you recommend? And he says, well, blah, 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 blah. And she says to him, well, is it any good? There's a long pause. He goes, no, madam, it's very, very bad, and walks away. Apparently, he didn't like that too much. I just recommended it. No, it sucks. That's why
I was going to say, yeah, I'm giving you the biggest bottle of crap on the market. Oh, God.
All right, Pally. We will talk to you on Tuesday.
Awesome. Take
Thanks
care, you
a lot.
guys. Bye.
You too. Judd Zulgad, SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert, unless, of course, he's busy, reporting on other things, or at the state fair, or maybe he's at the Renaissance Fair. Maybe he'll be in full body armor when he comes on. No,
I see him smirking. I don't think he's gonna go get his arm out of the closet just for us. He usually breaks that out for special occasions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back. Chris Egert joins us right after this. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, bobbing his head to the music. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. What's happening, man?
Hey, how are you?
I just found out Target Field wins anti-terrorism safety designation. That's what I want to think
win
about.
Baseball games.
Yeah, you know, they don't win any baseball games, so they may as well protect the field from terrorism. I didn't even know that was a thing, to tell you the truth, that they rated how good that, you know, the anti-terrorism setup is over at Target Field.
Well, you know what? That's good. I don't.
Sure.
If it makes it less likely for something to happen, great. I'm more worried about walking down Hennepin than I am a terrorist attack there, but that's just me.
Yeah, no question about it. But at least you get to torture people when you're walking down Hennepin because they're all hired in hell or drunk, so that's good.
Boy, is it such a difference of what a difference a day will make downtown. On a game day, it's a whole different scene, but on a non-game day, it's just it's a little intimidating.
That's what I understand. I haven't been downtown too much. I used to love it, of course. I love downtown Minneapolis, worked downtown Minneapolis many of the years of my life and all the rest of it. It just makes me so sad that when are we going to realize that the areas in which we've moved to are not working? You know, when, we gotta rise people up, rise up. Yeah, well, you can rise up and then stop committing crimes. How about that action?
Yeah, and there were a couple there's been a pretty good string of kind of gun violence going on over the last week or so, which was in the news this morning. There were a couple shootings last night. I don't know. We're not gonna solve the problem here on the podcast, but it's definitely, something needs to happen. And what is it? I don't know. The police seem like they kind of throw their arms up in the air.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't even manhandle anybody anymore, even though they're trying to kill somebody. If you put them in a headlock, you're the bad guy. It's like, Jesus.
I would say we did have a story this morning in regards to the shooting that happened in Georgia, the school shooting yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That I don't know if you guys remember last year at this time, there was a big brouhaha with school resource officers in the state of Minnesota. And a lot of the big agencies were pulling them out of the schools because there were some questions about use of force and if they could be liable. But it does sound like that most of those resource officers are in place in schools now because they got that figured out during the last legislative session. There was some language that needed to be tweaked and whatnot, but so that's good. At least there are officers in the schools right now, given everything that happened down there. And it does sound like they kind of helped to, get that guy caught pretty quickly. Unfortunately, not quick enough, but.
You know that the year that I left North, because like I said, I tested out and, I was in 10th grade, but they made me come to homeroom so they could collect the money and all that. So even though I went to the school, I wasn't there for more than about 15 minutes. Do you know who one of the hall monitors was? The officer, not an officer, but a hall monitor was at North High School back in the late 60s, I think it was, or maybe it was late 60s or 1970, somewhere around there. I don't think you'd want to piss this guy off. You know who because he was dating a woman from Minneapolis. That's why he was even in town. The lead of hall monitors at North High School was George Foreman. Like, holy Hannah.
That's super random.
That's I don't think you want to piss him off.
Big George will put you on your ass just like that. That's wow.
Yeah, I can't remember what year it was, but it was like late 60s, 70 maybe. I don't remember, but yeah. He is a big fella. I will tell you that. I never talked to him, just walked past him a couple of times, and it's like, oh, okay, you're sizable. You find anything?
Nope.
Really? It doesn't even mention it?
Nope. But we'll see if we can find something.
Well, he lived. When did he live? Maybe you can look up when he lived in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
I didn't realize he lived here for a while.
Well, he was dating a woman from here, so he came here for a while, I guess. That's what it was. But so what else is big in your news, Pally?
I'm sure you guys saw the picture being passed around all over social media the last couple of days of Tim Walz's family all dressed in Trump Vance t-shirts.
Oh God.
I had so many people send me that yesterday, and I got into like a Twitter battle with this guy over it. He's like, why don't you report this? And because that's everyone's thing now. Like they see something on Twitter.
Yeah.
So they've already seen it. It's already out in the universe. But then they'll bring it to us, which I guess what they would consider the lamestream media. And they'll be like, why don't you put this on TV? Well, first of all, you already seen it.
Yes.
Second of all, we don't do newscasts just reading crap straight off of Twitter.
Wait, whoa. That's news to me, Chris. I thought that's all you did.
It'd be really freaking boring if all we did is sat there and read a Twitter feed.
Oh my
or it might
God.
be very entertaining. I don't know. And then what the reality is on that story is it's like Tim Walz's second cousins, like very, very distant relations. I don't know if you guys, how things are in your guys' family, but
oh God,
I can assure you, I don't even know who my second cousins are, let alone what their political leanings are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like people are cherry picking this stuff. It's so ridiculous, and social media. Social media makes it so bad. It's just like, oh, look, even Walz's family doesn't like him. I mean, go after Walz. There's 100 different things that most Minnesota people could draw from his record to be critical of, like real substantive things. The freaking the distant cousins in the Trump t-shirts, like who cares?
What's his own brother, by the way?
No, this isn't his brother.
Oh, but his brother hates him. I know.
Yeah, well, fine. Who cares, right? Like,
I agree.
I don't get along
in common with his brother now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, Chris, I thought it was funny because I saw like one of these like second cousins or whatever did like an interview. It's like, oh, I've got some real stories about him that people would love to hear. And that Warner was like, yeah, what? Well, tell us. Well, when we go on road trips, he used to get like really nauseous in the car, really car sick, so nobody wanted to sit by him.
Oh boy, that's terrible.
That's what I mean. Like
real damning evidence right there.
Like it's just
not my vice president.
Yeah, right.
I only vote
for now. Tim Walz gets sick in the car. Again, like go after him for like legitimate. Go after him for his COVID response, or go after him for how things worked out after the riots. Like
there's policy stuff to talk about, guys.
Right.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it. But that's how people are.
I guess it's just me. I was so irritated with Twitter last night. I was trying to go to bed, and this guy's like, "Ass face," you know. And I'm like,
ass face. Well, kind of, I guess.
Or ass clown, or it was
ass clown. Oh, that's nice.
I'm like, shut up, dude.
You know what that means, don't you? Being called an ass clown.
I mean, it's insulting.
It makes you take her deep, apparently.
Oh.
He goes, oh, okay.
All right.
Once again, all this political stuff just makes me want to hurl. All of them. They drive me nuts.
I'm pretty tolerable of it, and I follow both sides, and I'm got a pretty good sense of humor about it too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't call me an ass clown or whatever. Like, it's fine. It's just this whole like tit for tat cherry picking crap here, there, and everywhere.
Right.
And it's just like, dude, I want the election to be over, but I know damn well, even after the election's over, it's not going to be, it's going to be more of the same. In fact, it'll be even worse because somebody will have had to lose.
Well, I'm in a better mood now that you've been on.
There's this before I go. I just saw an article before I came out here. I think it was NBC News put out some survey. Top 10 most fun states in the United States. Minnesota's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Fun?
Do you think
Fun?
Seriously.
Well,
that
think about
list
how-
is, come on.
I think you're underestimating how many lame states there are. Like, we have stuff to do. Right?
Okay.
Like
That-
top of my
that's-
head, California,
Yeah.
New York,
Okay.
that's
two.
Florida. I'm gonna go
Texas,
with Texas. Yeah, that's got to be pretty fun.
Washington, Colorado,
I'll put both of those on the list. Hawaii, probably a little bit more fun.
Alaska.
Oh, okay, let's pause here for a second. Alaska, Chris?
You know,
Outdoorsmen seem to like it.
They do.
They climb a mountain in Minnesota.
Nevada with Las Vegas.
They got Las Vegas.
Yeah, they've had
Probably
100
more
degrees
fun.
heat there for the last like 60 days.
They
All right,
have.
well, AJ's defending the list. That's fine. He's here for the
Like
list.
I would say we're top 15.
I'd say top 10.
I think
This
we're
is-
like
this is-
7 on this list.
Are we the Kirk Cousins of states? Are we a top 10? Are we just kind of good?
How much fun do you have every day, AJ?
A blast. More than you have, apparently. Chris
Oh.
wishes he was in Alaska, for God's sake.
I'm glad these two kids are separated. I'm telling
Tom, good luck with that. You're gonna have to break up a fight.
you.
It sounds
Break
like.
it up. There's no question. Honest to God. Well, thanks for stirring the pot today, Chris. That'll be great the rest of the show.
You're welcome, Tom. Have a good rest of your day.
Talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. 952-925-5608. Chris Egert once again comes in, stirs the pot, and leaves.
I love it.
Now the two of you can be battling the rest of the day because of Chris Egert.
That's fantastic. And
That's fantastic. Okay, what?
I wouldn't have it any other way. I know we're normally scheduled to go to a break right now, but I do have Mr. Tom Nowicki on the line.
Oh, he's on the line now?
Yeah, you want to bring him on right away?
Works for me.
I love it.
That's one thing I like about podcasting. You do what the hell ever you want. Mr. Nowicki, you've got a huge fan that's talking to you here. I don't know if you know that or not. Did anybody tell you that?
No, they have not, but good morning. And I am flattered.
I'll tell you what, one day I want to get you. I've met and talked to Vince Vaughn in person. You and I have never met in person, but someday Vince Vaughn, you and I should sit in public and talk, because people are going, what the hell's with those three guys' voices?
Yeah. Did you know, by the way, that Vince is a Minneapolis native?
Oh, yeah.
He's raised in Chicago, but born in Minneapolis. I'm assuming you guys have a Vince Vaughn day with a parade, right?
Well, I tried to get it. Yeah, I tried to get it worked out, but it's one of those situations. They just won't listen to me. I said, the guy's like 6'5". He could probably come and kick your ass, but they wouldn't listen to
Oh,
me.
yeah, absolutely. He kicked mine several times on the set. Yeah, but I think we should stay on that. Yeah.
Tom, honest to God,
You
bad.
do it just for fun, just to blow up steam.
No, I
so I'm
understand.
fine with that, so.
Nothing wrong with that. By the way, they refer to you on your own descriptor as gravelly character actor. You're gravelly, man.
Yeah.
You and I can talk to you.
Yeah, so Grizzly comes up as well, and I'm wondering why everything I read for now has Grizzly in front of it. But you got to take it as it comes.
I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking about the show for a few weeks now, but Bad Monkey is phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it on TV. What a great show, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's a great end of the summer beach read. I mean, I know you guys are about halfway into winter right now, I'm speaking to you from the state that's number 3 on your fun state list, the great state of Florida, by the way. So
love it.
Eat your hearts out. Yeah, but no, it's from. I probably told your listeners it's from a novel by Carl Hiatt, and he's kind of king of the Florida comedy crime writer.
Yep.
And and these guys did a. I've been a Carl Hiatt fan for however long as he's been writing, and when they announced that they were adapting it, I was a little bit afraid, because it's happened a couple of times before and the results haven't been great. But Bill Lawrence and Matt Tarses and that crew took a great book and made it even better. I couldn't be prouder or happier for what they did. Yeah.
Just listening to you talk, are you sitting in Key West right now?
I am not. I'm sitting in my dining room in Orlando, which is so very much not Key West. I can dream, right? A man can dream. It's allowed.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Orlando, man. Orlando's great. I spend a lot of time down in West Palm Beach, so you'll have to come down and take you out to the breakers.
And I'll get Vince to come along, and they can stare at us there, right?
Yeah, they can stare at you there, and then I'll just be going, what the hell are you looking at? I'll pretend I'm your bodyguard. It'll be wonderful.
That would be great. I've never had that before. That'd be a great experience. We'll get somebody to tape.
How did they put together such a great cast, Tom? I mean, this cast on this show, Bad Monkey, is everybody in it's good.
Well, yeah, thank you very much on behalf of my brothers and sisters. But I think it's with the source material, and secondly, it's Bill Lawrence and Matt Tarkin.
Yeah,
those guys they're Ted Lasso and Scrubs, and so when those guys want to do something, and if they're interested in you. The smart play is to come along and join them, and because they really, really, really know what they're doing. They get the best out of the people and the material that they're working with. So, I think it's a no-brainer when they're interested.
Yeah, that makes total sense. One thing I've been thinking about lately is the fact that people like you and Vince Vaughn. Several other people have been drawn to television because I think when Bad Monkey was first announced, a lot of people thought it was a movie because Vince Vaughn was in it. But honest to God, television is blowing up. Not to say that, theaters aren't doing that well. I guess they get a couple of things per year, but television has never been better, Tom, and it just keeps getting better and better. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's the perfect venue for a story like this. I think one of the problems with previous adaptations of Carl Hiaasen's books is they've been feature films. So we only got 90 minutes, maybe 120. And in this case, we've got 10 hours to follow through some pretty interesting and complicated intertwining plot lines. And you have the room and the resources to do it. And I think that's what makes it a great show instead of a kind of a confusing trifle. I'm very happy to see this happen. I'm very happy to see audiences taking to it and having the patience to watch the story develop and grow and the characters grow. Yeah, it's the perfect venue.
Well, I think starting a show off with somebody who just got fired or demoted or whatever is always a good idea because we've all been through it. I think that's the whole problem. But what the hell? It's just...
Yeah, and especially getting fired when something you do goes viral, right? I mean, that is that's the problem for everybody right now. Where's the camera? And how infamous am I going to be? I'm waiting for my moment.
Now, after taking an ass kicking on a golf course from my wife yesterday, Tom, which I have to talk about on this show because people always ask me, hey, I saw you and Catherine playing golf yesterday. How badly should she beat you? My wife, I cannot beat my wife at golf. It's just how it is. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get Tom Nowicki. We're going to get Vince Vaughn, Catherine, my wife, and me. We're going to go to the Breakers and play golf. And then I'll come in like fourth place. Is that the idea?
I think you're going to come in at least third. I am the world's worst golfer.
It'd still be fun. I just love the fun that you guys have on that show. Your two characters talking, or any characters that are talking. It just they did a great. Well, like you said, Hiaasen's done an amazing job. How many years now? Like 30, 40 years? What the hell ever it's been. It's been a long time, but it's great television. Since when?
Yeah. Since the 80s, he's been writing.
Yes.
He started out as a writer for the Miami Herald in the early 80s, and I think tourist season came out in 86 or 87, something like that. So almost 40 years now.
I got to read this descriptor to you because I think you're going to like it. I know you only got a couple more minutes here, but gravelly character actor Tom Nowicki has a small role. It's a small role, my ass. You're in every episode, aren't you?
As a narrator, yeah.
As a narrator, that's right, as a narrator. Fishing boat charter captain, but it is ubiquitous as our narrator with two important responsibilities: to keep holding the audience's hand through an increasingly nonsensical plot. That's a very good line, by the way. That's a very good line. And to capture the whimsical voice of Hiaasen's writing when Bonnie begins to flirt to get herself out of a bad situation. For instance, the narrator quips, "That would be you, Tom Nowicki. $10 if you can guess what happened next." Tom, it's a great show. Please come back more often, and I'm holding you to it. We're going to play a little golf and have a little dinner in Denver. I mean December. That's what I meant.
It's December.
I don't know where the hell.
How about December in Denver? How about that?
No. We want to stay in Florida in December. No question about it. But I look forward to talking to you again, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Been
Thank
great
you.
being here.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye. You too.
He is a great. I mean, have you guys have watched it yet?
Nope.
It's good.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out, but like it's one of those where I keep seeing the ads for it. I keep seeing it like recommended, and it's like I got to check it out. I don't know why. I just haven't had a good time to like sit down and really put it on.
That makes sense. And Catherine, like I said, Catherine and I, when we watched the first episode, we assumed it was a movie because Vince Vaughn was in it.
And it's not everything's available right now, right? It's periodically.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, maybe I'll wait then. Maybe I'll wait towards the end when everything is all set, and then I'll kind of jump on the bandwagon and get on it as the season finale hits.
I said Denver and you said bagwagon. What the hell's wrong with? Are we drunk?
I think so. We've been sharing the bottle all morning.
Where the hell do I get? Let's go to Denver. Denver. I mean, I like Denver. Don't get me wrong, but where the hell did that come in my brain? I don't get it.
To be fair, there was a lot of destinations being thrown around that conversation.
Yeah,
so
that's
West. He's in Orlando, Charlotte, Minneapolis, Vince Vaughn, all that stuff.
No doubt about it. But yeah, when you guys get around to it, if you're going to wait, I understand that. But we got it. When you start watching, we'll have to talk about it again because it's very well written, very well. It's very laid back, which I love. It's none of this, hypey bullshit.
That's good.
Catherine and I have really, really enjoyed it. No question about it. Again, Tom Nowicki, I just love the guy. He's a hell of an actor. He's always got kind of an attitude, which is hard to believe, isn't it?
Somebody named Tom with an attitude.
Boy, look at the time. We got to go to break right now. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. So, AJ, when did you talk to Catherine about getting a psychiatrist to come in and sit in with me? Because I'm me.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple weeks now. She's been like, we got to get somebody in. Tom's been just going cuckoo.
He's going crazy, man.
Yeah, so I figured we'd get Jesse the Shrink in the studio today.
In studio, sitting right here. There he is on camera, as a matter of fact.
Here I am.
We got to hear Jesse the Shrink. Where's it come from?
Where does it come from? Where does the shrink come from?
Yes.
I was born with it in me. I was born with it in me. I grew up seeing all this stuff around me.
Sure.
I saw all the crazy things. I saw all the ways people would interact. I saw all this stuff, and I always wanted to be of help to people. But without being a shrink, I couldn't do that. Who wants to listen to somebody who doesn't have the title?
So you are a shrink.
I am a shrink. I've been. What is is today September 5th?
It is.
It is.
This is the 19-year anniversary today of my first therapy session.
Was I in it?
You were not in it.
Damn it. I've been in a lot of them.
Unless in a spiritual sense, you somehow inhabited the body of a 6-year-old boy, because that's who my client was that day.
I'm not inhabiting any 60-year-old boys, if you know what I mean. We already had a teacher in town that, Jesus, that guy.
Wow.
Anyway, getting back to it, I
wanted to say, what was that all about?
Oh, you don't want to know.
I don't want to know. All right.
No, there was a teacher that set up a 14-year-old girl.
I saw the headline, right?
Yeah,
this was just in the news.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's
nasty.
Wow.
Let's have some more fun and
yeah, right. Let's start things off on a lighthearted note. Yeah.
But one of my favorite, because I've gone to therapists off and on. I grew up very, very poor in North Minneapolis. My father was put in an institution. They took him out of the house in a straitjacket when I was 7. That's of course drilled into my head.
Never gonna forget that.
That's why I always tell people, you can push, but don't push too far, because that's still in there, and it ain't going to look good if you let it out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But so I've been to a lot of therapy sessions in my life. Really good people. By the way, I would say Minnesota is very well qualified in that area, maybe more than many other states. Why such a good job here, do you think? I'm not going to stay serious on you here.
Yeah, I know. That's all good. I can adapt. We'll go therapy mode. We'll go comedy mode. I'm here to promote a comedy show too.
Yes, you are. Yes,
but
you are.
no, I think Minnesota is great in the sense that we put a lot of resources into things along the lines of how can we give help to people. And one of those is mental health.
Yeah.
So we absolutely crank out a lot of therapists. We have a lot of great resources available for therapists, for therapy clients, for people seeking help. I think we do a good job of promoting it. So
yeah, no question.
Not all, like you said, not all places do. So.
I'm in a session once with a man named Perry Roth. He was just a wonderful guy. He's been gone many, many years now, unfortunately. But so I was like, I think 19, 20 years old, something like that. I'm sitting there talking to him, and he keeps looking at the watch. He goes, my next session should have been here a couple of minutes ago, but I guess until he arrives, if you want to stay and talk to me. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was very nice. That really impressed me, that it wasn't like, okay, it's over, leave.
Absolutely.
That was a very good move.
Yeah, I do that with my clients a lot.
Yeah.
And I will say, I probably shouldn't, this isn't a brag, but I'm that person who's always 5 to 10 minutes late too. And that's for every therapy session. All my clients know 5 to 10 minutes late, but then we make up for it. And we go 5 to 10 minutes later. But absolutely, yeah, you take that time and you got to make sure to make it human. But anyway, back to your story. But yeah.
Very quickly. So Perry and I are still talking about a half an hour, and it's going really, really well, having a wonderful time and all the rest of it. And now we're about a half hour in, so I got to go. So I've been there for an hour and a half.
Your therapist is keeping you
with great conversation. Maybe I could learn something. So I walk to the door. I open the door, and there is a man, and I'm going to face the camera. There is a man who had apparently been there after I talked to people in other offices for a half an hour like this. He stood there and didn't move for a half an hour in a karate pose.
Waiting right outside the door.
Outside the door. It's like, holy hell. I will never forget that as long as he's in the karate pose with, I'm taking you guys all on.
Wow.
I said, really, Perry, you got to talk to this guy, do you?
He probably could have used that half hour that you were taking up.
Yeah, I would think so. All he had to do was a little tap on the door, and I would open it up. But I mean, it's got to be kind of tough. And then we'll move on to the other side of you. But look, I'm one of those kind of guys. I don't mean to be sucking up or kissing ass, but therapists are not stupid people. Very bright people in general. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, you'd hope so, Probably like anything in the world, there's going to be some out there that you go, I don't know, they have to exist. But
I think, and the reason I even brought this up in the first place, well, first of all, to dump all my crap on you anyway, you're used to it. No, but is that combination of doing comedy, and they still call it psychiatry, does it have a different name now?
Yeah, that's where, so technically, and everybody gets this confused. Psychiatry, it's still a thing. That's, do you need medication?
Medication.
Psychiatrist, medication. Psychotherapist, that's what I am. You can be a psychologist, you could be a marriage and family therapist, you can be a licensed social worker, but yeah, psychotherapist, and then psychiatrists do the meds.
But it seems to me that doing humor as a therapist would be a natural fit, because you have to look, you guys look at, or you people, because there are many great women at it as well, you look at all sides of things. You know, there's a serious side, there's a funny side, and all the rest of it. So I can see why you would make a very good comedian, because you examine everything you talk about, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it started?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about, again, going back over 19 years of therapy. And granted, every therapist has their own style. I mean, you said you've seen a bunch of therapists, so I don't know what, but I would imagine we're individual human beings. So you're going to get all kinds of different styles. But I've always loved bringing the humor into therapy. If you know how to do it, you know when to do it, and you're in tune with people. And if I go back to that 6-year-old kid 19 years ago today, I still can't believe I'm saying that. But that's the thing, is that, and it might have helped me. I'm not sure, but it might have helped me that I started off with young people. I don't know. Yeah. But, you know, whether it's the child or adolescent humor they're bringing out, I'm not really sure. But I know that over time, I absolutely was able to tap into that in therapy sessions. And it's absolutely magical when it's used right. Because isn't it that sometimes where we find kind of the medicine of what we're going through is to be able to find humor and find laughter. Yeah. Now, not everybody can pull that off. They can try, and it's the wrong time to do it. But I've had so many sessions where it can be heavy. It can be absolutely some of the heaviest things, but in that right moment, to be able to put the right perspective on it. Right. And all of a sudden my clients are laughing. And there you go. You see it and you feel it. And even right now I'm feeling as I picture it, right? Like there can be a twinkle in the eye. There's this like, there we go. And we're also bringing the heaviness and the seriousness there, but like, yeah.
I think that's one of the jobs that you people have, is that when it's really serious, like right now, we kicked off the show an hour ago talking about the fact that people lie to make money. Any way they can lie to make money, they will do it. And I'm talking about both political parties. I'm talking about all these. Well, they just went through a situation they discovered on Amazon that Jeff Bezos, if you ask about Donald Trump, it says, and again, I don't have a dog in this fight. It's just what happened. Yeah. You ask about Donald Trump, they say, we can't comment on political characters. I can't talk about anyone specifically. That cannot happen. Next question was, can you tell me about Kamala Harris? Glowing review of Kamala Harris. This major corporation, why would they risk that? I mean, there are going to be some people that will never do business with them again. And I don't care whose side you're on. Right. You lied for money. Yeah. Why do people? Is that one of the biggest problems you run into? We got to get to the comedy part. We'll get to it. Yep. But that's one of the things that I think that we have such a problem with people, because when you're a little kid, and I look back at being 3 years old, 4 years old, whatever, I thought people were wonderful. And now a few years later, people aren't necessarily that wonderful. Is that the big disappointment for most people? They find out that human beings are deeply flawed.
It's definitely highly relatable. I mean, the first thing I thought when you said it, to tell you the truth, is that it also is kind of reflective of how it comes from our different perspectives, because it can also go the other way. I can also have the people who at that age, they thought because of their circumstances that everybody was not good.
Oh, so that's right.
You can come from there too, but absolutely, that is one of the things. If you come up with that, where you see that, and then you get old enough and you go, oh, okay. But then how do you make sense of that, and how do you operate going forward, holding on to optimism and humanity? Yeah, trusting people. Yep. Because in your case, the way you're talking about, you do have that disappointment.
Oh, there's no question about that.
But then what do you do with that?
Look at these two guys. I mean, geez, this is what I got, huh?
Right.
He decides not to get
That'll be a whole nother episode. Talk about that right there, you know.
But I want people to understand how important it is to me that comedians really understand what they're talking about. They're not just up there. If you think a comedian gets on stage and just starts rambling without any background in any particular subject, that doesn't happen. You people, men and women, are brilliant at picking little things apart, and that's why it's so funny. I mean, do most people understand that?
Well, I am reminded once in a while that many don't. Yeah. Many see the comedian on stage and they're just like, oh, she just walked up there and started saying funny things. No, there's a lot that goes behind it.
Oh God, yes.
We're analyzing, we're experiencing, we're formulating, and then we're going out there and we're trying it, you know, and we're developing it. And it comes from, like for me, it comes from a lifetime of my own life experiences, being a therapist.
No doubt.
And it, for me, it absolutely can have a similar feel when I'm on stage, because of what I'm bringing to the stage. I'm bringing, and even I'm trying right here to just bring, this is just me.
Yeah.
I told you from the time I was a kid, where did it come from? I was always of this mindset and this perspective, but where can I channel it? I finally found a place to channel it in therapy after watching Good Will Hunting.
I love that.
When I watched it, I was like, I can relate with Robin Williams' character,
yeah,
and I can relate with Matt Damon's character. And oh my God, all of a sudden I had I know what I want to do with my life. So I brought it into therapy, and I'm trying to bring it in here today, but then to bring it to the stage. And it happens all the time now. The more I'm doing it, like the show I'm doing tomorrow night at Gambit Brewing, I'm having these experiences where I'm now producing shows. I had Jeff Foser come in here. He's the headliner tomorrow night. I had him come in here last year for the first show that I produced. It was Jesse the Shrink's midlife crisis show. It was wonderful. It was at the Ball of America's House of Comedy. It was my first vision to produce. I'm like, let me try it. I don't know what I'm doing. And it was a Wednesday night during the state fair, and we packed the place. And it was magical. I felt what I feel in therapy, like group therapy. The whole room, as I got to run the whole show from beginning to end, and the climax was Jeff coming up there. It was special. The whole thing felt this special connection and spark. And so then my next vision was the St. Paul Comedy All-Star Show. I started to get this vision for St. Paul. I have a passion for St. Paul. I moved from Brainerd to St. Paul in 2000 to become a therapist. And I always thought I would move back, but I ended up staying here. Funny thing is I came here to become a marriage therapist.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Moved here with my first wife.
So you were a terrible marriage.
Then I got divorced. It gets better. So then I got divorced.
It gets better.
So then I got married again. And then I got divorced again. And then I finished my schooling. And I was the twice divorced marriage therapist.
You're going to get married again?
We'll see. I mean, it'll make me even better, won't it? Like at some point they should just call me the divorce therapist. But
life gives you perfect segues because we're going to focus on the comedy part of it now.
Okay.
Going in, the reason it's so important, and I'll never forget this, that Mike Wallace went to Johnny Carson's mother's house in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to sit and watch the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, her son being Johnny Carson. He wanted to see what that was all about. So Mike Wallace, one of the great news reporters of all time. I mean, the guy was just a great guy, brilliant guy. He used to come in the studio once in a while. I was like, what an honor that is.
Oh, Mike came in here?
Yeah, well, not here.
But
one of the places I work.
Yeah.
But in any case, I'm watching this thing on CBS. Mike Wallace didn't edit it, didn't mess with it at all. Mike Wallace and Johnny Carson's mother are sitting down to watch the opening monologue of The Tonight Show. And they're watching it, and you're watching it with them, and it's very, very funny, and Johnny's just killing it and all the rest of it. They go to break. Mom stands up, walks over, turns the television off, looks at Mike Wallace and said, that wasn't funny at all. Can you imagine what that boy had been through in his life?
Yeah.
Can you even imagine what his mother did to him?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the most successfll TV guy of all time.
Right.
That's still not good
Still
enough
not
for
good
mom.
enough. Nope. All comes back to mom in the end, doesn't it?
So now we can talk about humor and why it's so damn important in society.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's no question. So thank you for moving into that area as well.
Yeah.
Doing comedy.
Yeah.
How are the audiences very receptive? Do you still have people? Because some people, it's like, oh my God. I used to go to a lot of comedy shows and there'd be people saying things like, why are you talking? He's up on stage. She's up on stage taking punches. And now you got to be an asshole. I mean, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And I'll tell you that, knock on wood, because like I said, I've just been producing shows for about a year now, but I've barely slept the last year because this is going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be, I think, my 20th show I've produced since last year.
Oh my God.
And I will tell you that through these experiences, I haven't dealt with that. What I've been having is I've been having crowds that are connecting in these shows, like genuinely. That's what I was saying before, where it's so this idea that people show up for comedy and they're going to ruin it. They're going to be rude. They're going to interrupt. They're going to be speaking loudly and all that. I haven't had to deal with that. So knock on wood, it may happen eventually, but I haven't had to deal with that. Yeah.
Well,
my audiences have been absolutely wonderful. It's
that
been
is great to hear.
And even during the shows, sometimes I will point that out. I will go up there. So maybe I'm about to introduce Jeff Foser and maybe the featured comedian just got done. And I'll look out in the crowd and I'll see these people smiling. And it seems like it's really doing some good for them. And I'll comment on that. I'll go, you all seem like you're really having a good time tonight. Is this a good time for you tonight? And it's just like, yeah. I'm like, we're just going to keep that right on going. And then it feels like that it's contagious. Then it continues on to the headliner comedian that comes up, and then to go up and wrap up the show at the end, and to go, did y'all have fun tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Something. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Well, come back, and we're gonna keep doing this. Come back for the next time. It feels really good.
I could understand that completely. We'll take a break. Be right back. Kristen Burt's going to join us. So I want you to talk to Kristen Burt because she's an entertainment reporter.
Okay.
Well, is that her title?
Yeah, I think it's Hollywood Princess.
Hollywood
Princess.
Princess.
I think she was here last time I was here. She did a thing on. I'm gonna have a brain. We Are the World. They had like a documentary. Is that her?
She did. Yep.
Yeah, she was here last time.
She's phenomenal. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. She'll be up in a couple of seconds. Let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. And I got to tell you, I talked to Bilski a couple of times this morning. One of my best friends, he hates when I say that, but it's true. He's a good guy. Now, see, I shouldn't have probably said that, but what a good guy Mike is. Oh, they offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Man, we weren't talking about analysis at all. What are you talking? What do you mean? Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Kristen Burt joins us. Kristen, we got a great show going on today. We're digging very, very deep into why we're even here. You know what I mean?
Are y'all having existential crisis?
I don't know. Jesse?
Tom is.
Like always, nothing ever changes there. 2 things I got to tell you about very quickly. So not only is Jesse the Shrink in studio, but just before I talk to him, I talked to Tom Nowicki from Bad Monkey. What a great guy.
Did you tell him how much you love the series?
Oh, yes, I did several times. There's no question about that. That's one thing about this job that I just love. I get to meet all these great people. I suppose walking down the street, you're not meeting all that many people, but I meet new people every day of every week of my life. And it's a thrill. There's no doubt about that.
That's why the job's never boring.
I would guess. Well, then you come on and it's really not boring,
I'm here to add a little spice to the end of your show every day.
So I told Jesse to kind of avoid talking to you about, psychotherapy because we don't have the time. So,
To analyze Hollywood? I mean,
no, you
could be here all day. Oh, not me.
Oh yeah, to analyze Hollywood, we'd be here for about 3 months trying to figure that one out.
It would be a 24/7 podcast.
It would be indeed. But Jesse, Kristen, Jesse, you can see one another. I'm assuming.
Yep. And Kristen, when they told me that you were going to be on, we went to break, and I said, I think you were on, or it was before the break, but I think you were on last time, the first time I was on here, because you were on talking about We Are the World documentary.
Yes. Did you ever wind up watching it?
No, because I don't have Netflix.
Okay.
I'm too
Well,
cheap.
if you ever get it,
Yes.
for sure.
That's a good
Definitely
thing.
worth it. It's a good one.
No, it's showing up a lot more. Bad Monkey is in references in newspapers, television, all the rest of it, social media. It is a really, really good show, no question.
Yes. Are you all caught up, or how many episodes in are you at this
We're
point?
only a few episodes in, so how many have been released so far? Or is it all of them by now, or is it?
No, it's not.
I
It
didn't
is
think
not.
so, yeah.
I want to say like 5 or something like
Yeah.
that. Somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
Just love it. I love the whole thing. Basically the man of service loses his job and he still wants to serve. It's wonderful. It's great.
Good. I'm so glad you're enjoying it.
What else you got for us, sister?
All right. Since we've got Jesse here, let's maybe dive into the psychology of the Hollywood box office, the movies, because I think this is interesting. He might offer some insight on this because we started the summer off. It was 29% down over 2023. They've recovered quite a bit. We had some big hits with Deadpool and Wolverine. We had great hits with It Ends With Us. You had Bad Boys 4, which kind of kicked off that lift in the box office for the summer, Inside Out. So what is happening now is that they think they're actually going to end up on a high by the end of the year because you still have Wicked, you still have Moana 2. What do you think? Because nobody wanted to see The Fall Guy, which was probably one of the best movies of the summer.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's starting to go back to the movie theater again. Jesse, give us your insight.
Well, that's not my expertise necessarily, but you know what I think? This is the first thing I thought of when you said this. I think maybe what we had is we had people starting off in the beginning going, you know what? It's getting too expensive to go out and do this. I'm going to start being responsible financially. I'm not going to go out to the theater. But you know how well Americans do at holding on to that mindset?
Oh, yeah.
Not very well. That's probably part of what happened there. They held on, and they finally said, Deadpool, I want to go see me some Deadpool. And then, and now we're about to break records.
And then everyone wanted to see the feud between Blake and Justin Baldoni. It Ends With Us. They wound up there. And maybe we'll continue on the end of the rest of the year. I know a lot of people, honestly, are going to movies on Tuesdays because a lot of movie theaters offer a major discount.
Oh, yeah.
And they find that it's half the price, even with concessions and everything else. So maybe people have gotten creative with their movie theater going experience.
That could be, and perhaps the movie theaters have gotten creative because they can double the price for tickets. That makes people go, I'm not going to go. So then they go, but if you come on Tuesday, we'll make it half price. So it's still as much as they were going to spend to not go out. Now they go out and they think that they're getting a great deal and they're being savvy.
See, psychology. I knew it.
Have you seen the Deadpool movie yet? By the way, I just want any of you. I want to ask because I've been wanting.
I have not.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
I have not either.
I did watch The Fall Guy on streaming on Friday night. That's an incredible movie. Like, I was shocked by how good it was.
It honestly, it was probably the best summer popcorn movie I think of the year. We had a lot of movies that came through. Planet of the Apes did well, and A Quiet Place did well, and of course Deadpool, Bad Boys. And I'm like, why did everyone stay away from The Fall Guy? Now, what made you? Did you have any thoughts about that, AJ? Because I'm like, you didn't go see it in the theater. You waited for streaming.
I just don't feel, I don't have a drive. And maybe it's just I feel like movies have not been marketed as it's like I'm excited to go there. I'll watch it when it's on streaming, but I don't feel that drive of I have to get out to the theater if I want to get this and be a part of that experience. And this is what you have said numerous times where Barbie and Oppenheimer, they were experiences of the community, and if you miss out, you're not a part of the group. Whereas this one, it's okay, it's Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, right? Okay, that's fun and whatnot, and I get the premise of it, but it seems like I can probably just wait for it. It didn't have that you got to get out and see it in theaters type of feel.
And I'll just say that the psychology thing about it is I wondered about this because I don't know about you guys, but when I was seeing the previews for Fall Guy, it felt to me like they were trying to convince me to go out and see it. It was
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, they are really pushing this movie really hard. And it made me feel like you're trying to tell me I'm supposed to go see it. And I almost wonder if that made some people go, I don't have to go see it. I'll go see something I want to go see. So I was curious how it was going to go. And then to see it flop, I was like, maybe they pushed it too much.
I also wonder if we had, as a collective group, a little bit of Ryan Gosling burnout. He had been everywhere last summer as Ken. And then he had an amazing performance in March doing I'm Just Ken at the Oscars. And then that rolled right into the Fall Guy promotional tour. Maybe we just needed a break. And if they had put the Fall Guy maybe at the end of the summer, we would have seen different results at the box office.
I can see that. Ryan Gosling saturation.
Yeah, it does happen. People get tired of celebrities. And I think it's why, when Tom Cruise in the summer of 2022 came out with Top Gun, we were so excited to get back to the movie theater. It felt like our first summer without like COVID hanging over our heads. Mm-hmm. Everybody went to the movie theater to go see it. Everyone's like, Tom Cruise saved the box office. Next summer, 2023, Mission Impossible comes in. And we're like, no. Just not going to go see it. And I do feel maybe it was a little bit of like Tom Cruise overload because he promotes the heck out of his movies. And all of a sudden now we have 2 summers in a row of Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. And he's rappelling down the Olympics.
That was this summer because
really? You're going to do this now?
Of course he is, because he has to insert himself into everything. And next summer, guess what? We've got another Mission Impossible. So it'll be 4 summers in a row with Tom Cruise.
Wow.
That is, do you think, looking back, because I loved going to the theater when I was a kid, going to the Empress, the Broadway, all these great theaters in North Minneapolis. It was wonderful. But then it always pops into my head toward the end of it all, when people this is just before COVID, I guess, when people had to stay home and all the rest of it. Again, I love going to the movie theater. But in the year 2020, Andy and I went to see Jumanji. The new version of it or whatever. Everybody in that theater was on their phone. Everybody in that theater was talking. I mean, it was just, you couldn't even watch the movie. Why they ever let that happen, I will never. I suppose they're told, though, you don't have any, sway over these people. You can't tell these people what to do. They paid their way in. They can do whatever they want. Well, it ruined the movie theater business.
That really depends on the chain. I'll have to be honest.
Yeah,
I know out here in LA, we have some theaters that actually have the ushers come in throughout the movie to check sound quality, the picture quality. But we got a lot of cinephiles out here in Los Angeles. And that movie going experience is as important as it is, watching it at home on your couch. So I think that the chains that are still appreciating that. Now, if I go to like one of the mainstream chains, I know I'm going to get, and if I go on Saturday night at 8 p.m., I'm going to get a little bit of everything. So I would pick and choose times I think that are better. Tuesday at an 11 o'clock movie, you're probably going to be just fine.
Why can't you just tell people to shut up? How about that action? I'll do it if they want me to.
That would be great, but look where we are in 2024.
That's the whole problem, is that everybody's rude now. Rudeness and lying. That's the 2 big hits now these days.
I don't even think it's that. I think we cannot be away from our phones for 90 minutes,
well,
2 hours.
Good
because
point.
You are starting to see in Las Vegas, they already do it. If they take a Broadway show and bring it to Las Vegas, it's 90 minutes, no intermission, where if you saw it on Broadway, it's 2.5 hours with 15-minute intermission. But Broadway is starting to realize, we need just 90 minutes, no intermission. Get them in, get them out, because people cannot stay off their phones.
No, that's very true, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about a Faraday cage? You got to put your phone in a Faraday cage when you come in, and when you leave, we'll give it back to you.
Yeah, like a Dave Chappelle show. And I would assume, too,
there you go.
The 90-minute, like especially when it goes on tour, if, a Broadway show comes to Minneapolis, rather than having, one show every night that's 2.5 hours, you can cut it down to 90 minutes, do 2 runnings of it each night and make more money for them as well. So it also probably has a financial backing.
Yeah. Or they could do the Wednesday matinee, Wednesday night, like certain things like that. That also happens quite a bit. But yeah, Yonder pouches. We do Yonder pouches a lot out here in Los Angeles for any time for a press screening. Sometimes they'll be like, no phones, nothing. So they'll just give you the Yonder pouch and away you go. But I don't mind that. I'm like, I understand for parents and things like that. Maybe they're concerned about the babysitter, but you're allowed to go and out in the hallway and check if you need it.
How does the Yonder pouch work?
The Yonder pouch is they take your phone and they have like this little key and they lock it and then they give you your phone. you're not able to unlock that phone while you're in the movie theater. So you
Brilliant.
can't record on it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
It's great. If you need to step out, of course, you can absolutely do that. And they will unlock it for you, relock it before you go back into the theater. It's really not a bad way to handle certain types of entertainment. And Tom, you would probably like going to the movies more.
Well, I mean, if their talking was like in the old days, again, the Empress, the Paradise, the Broadway, where they were commenting on the movie in a funny way, then I don't mind doing that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, we go to movies like we'll go to Broadway, right? They're on Broadway in North Minneapolis. Go to the movie, great movie theater. None of them are there anymore, of course. But we go to the movie, and something would happen. Let's say a cop does something wrong on his job, and you know this is all wrong. And somebody, I guarantee you, in the audience, the guy would say, I don't know what I'm going to do. They go, bitch, do your job. You know, stuff like that to a guy, not a woman. But that I got used to and I liked. It's this talking on your phone stuff. You want to comment in a movie, I don't care. As long as it's, 3-4 words, I don't care about that. But this talking on your phone, because the thing lights up the whole auditorium anyway. As soon as you hop on that phone, it lights up that whole area. So I just wish they'd stop doing it. I really do.
The thing that it's weird to me is to think about listening to you guys talk about this. It's almost like, in a way, the phones have made us as adults operate as children or teenagers.
Yep.
Because Kristen, when you were talking about how those pouches work and you're describing that, I'm like, that's almost like a brilliant response of parenting. Yeah. And we've become the adolescents or the kids where these places now have to go, all right, here's your pouch, put it in there. We're going to lock it up, behave, and we'll let you hold on to it.
Well, also, we have also, if you go to a concert or any type of live event, we've really gotten to a place where people can't stop filming and photographing it. And, if you go to a Broadway show and all of a sudden you're like, let me just go and photograph what's happening on stage, that's against equity union rules. Those actors should be paid for the photography and video that you are doing, which is illegal. But let me tell you, Broadway ushers are frustrated. They have to sit there and go and babysit people and be like, get off your phone, put it away. You have to erase that. And it's gotten to points like with Patti LuPone, who is the ultimate theater diva, at times has stopped a performance and been like, get off your phone, in a really dramatic voice. If you want to hear it, there's several incidents that have happened and they have them on YouTube. It's delightful, honestly, because she's so dramatic.
And to me, when I see that, I think of a dependence in our brains. It literally has happened. We've literally created this dependence that we have on the phones. Like you guys are talking about, how long can you have people in a show before you have to take a break because they're starting to get this thing of I have to,
We have the attention span of a gnat.
Yeah. Well, there was even a thing where coaches in sports now, because you'll have meetings where they're watching film and they'll be like, we have to take a 10-minute phone break so everybody can, these are professional athletes that they have to now go, all right, everybody take out your phone and check your social media and things like that. So yeah, as a society, we are so addicted to our phones that it's just unbelievable.
And that's interesting because I think how many people would say, okay, the coach should just not do that. Enough is enough. But if the reality is that your players have that dependence on it, and that means that they're not going to have their focus on their performance if you don't give that to them. Again, becoming teenagers or whatever, so now the coach has to go, how do I accommodate for this? Okay, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes. Go ahead and check your social media. Go ahead and check your text messages. And then let's go win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, and it's happening in schools too, because obviously kids are armed with their phones as well. And they're trying to, some schools are banning it altogether. And other schools are like, wait, I feel like the kids need to have phones, but how do we sort of police the phones? Do you have them all put it in a basket at the start of class? Maybe that's the solution and everyone picks it up on the way out. But I mean, we're at a place where it is really hard to get off your phone because your brain is addicted to it.
It dominates my therapy sessions now.
Does it really?
Oh,
God, they have to be on their phone.
Yep.
During a therapy session?
During therapy, and maybe to give a little bit of context, I do most of my sessions now like this, online.
On Zoom, yeah.
Before the pandemic, it was all in person. The majority of them are now like this. It is an average therapy session that, whether it's very obvious or it's subtle. If it's subtle, I can see, I'm always watching, right? I can see what the eyes are doing. And it's this thing where it's either the eyes are looking down or the messages are coming through on their screen, right? Because it's connected.
Oh,
so we're doing therapy, and all of a sudden I hear ding, and they're going ding. I had yesterday that was at least 10 times during the session that it happened.
God.
That's annoying. I'd be like, can you just shut that off? Right. We've only got 10 more minutes here. Let's do it.
So what do you guys think happens if the approach becomes hardcore to say, if you're at a Broadway play, if you're in a therapy session, if you're in a comedy show, whatever it is, no phones are allowed to be taken out. And if we see that you're taking it out, you are going to be escorted out. Like it's just,
I'm fine
does
with
that work?
it.
I almost think that would be the ultimate thing. You just do that because then they don't have the ability to do it. And I don't think they're going to leave.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on Zoom interviews, as a reporter, and if it's not connected, you do hear the dings, but other times like, when they're like checking their text message, you're like, come on, dude. Like you're here for like a total of 8 minutes with me. Can you just focus? I need the sound bite.
Yeah, makes sense. Kristen, any closing words? I know you're a busy woman.
I'm all over the place. I just want to point out Nicole Kidman's got a new series on Netflix called The Perfect Couple. It is a murder mystery. It is very glossy and beautiful people about a Nantucket wedding party where a murder takes place. It's getting great reviews. I've been dying to see this. So it is already up on Netflix as of today.
It's called what?
It's called The Perfect Couple.
The Perfect Couple. Okay.
The Perfect Couple on Netflix. And just for anyone, I know some of your listeners are big reality show fans. Just to let them know, I did a Dancing with the Stars casting special that you guys will find with Cheryl Burke, Sex, Lies, and Spray Tans. That is up today. And then tomorrow I'll be on Reality Steve's podcast talking about Dancing with the Stars for the season.
Honest to God, then you got to work at KPBS. You got to do all this stuff.
I know I'll be back in October for them. So
oh my God.
Once a quarter. I'm sorry.
A big shot. Big shot, I say. All
so
right,
fancy.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good to see you, Jesse.
Good to see you, Kristen. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Very nice. Kristen Bird, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And now, we talked about this earlier. Where are you appearing?
Yes. There we go. Thank you, Tom. I was telling Tom last time I was here, I totally forgot to promote why I was here, the comedy. So tomorrow night, Gambit Brewing in Lower Town, St. Paul. I've been working very hard to produce shows there since January to make this a really high quality comedy room. Right. And we just had on Tuesday night the funniest person in St. Paul contest that I ran, the first one ever. And it was a packed room. And the room is just wonderful for comedy. So tomorrow night, we're going to be there. I will be hosting the show. We're going to have Jeff Foser headlining. You know, Jeff, he's been on here plenty of times. Wonderful guy, St. Paul comedian. And what's wonderful about this show, too, is that I've got a lineup of 3 professional St. Paul comedians. So we've got me, I'm St. Paul. Jeff Foser's headlining, and then Allie Horman is the featured comedian. She's very funny. She's a St. Paul person as well. And then the winner of my funniest person in St. Paul contest from Tuesday, part of the prize is that they won a spot in the show tomorrow night. So Sam Bondus is his name, and people are going to want to check him out. He is an up-and-coming comedian. He is special. You remember Chris Farley, obviously?
Oh, God, yes.
If you can picture Chris Farley's physical comedy that he would do.
Yes.
I mean, what's the first thing you picture when I say that? Any of you? Do you picture anything when I say Chris Farley and his physical comedy?
Yes, him falling on that table.
Yes, exactly.
No question about it.
Yep. And then he had the dancing with Patrick Swayze. Yep. So this kid tomorrow night, this kid tomorrow night in my show, Sam Bondus. Yes, the stripper one. Yes, Chippendales. This kid Sam Bondus is he doesn't look like Chris Farley, but he's got the same physical comedy. It's natural. It's a gift. He doesn't force it. It's amazing. This kid crushed the contest finale, and I've performed with him probably 4 times in the last couple of months. And audiences just love him. He's a deaf comedian, which is a very unique thing too, and he taps into that with his humor. And
really?
Yeah. So
we can't hear if you're applauding or not.
And that's one of the funny things. He's been interviewed, and he said one of his goals is to someday hear audience laughter. Yeah, he's really special. The kid is really funny. So it's truly going to be a fantastic show, Tom. So anybody that likes stand-up comedy and is in the St. Paul area, or you want to go to the St. Paul area, you're looking for a reason, Gambit Brewing in Lower Town, St. Paul, tomorrow night, 8:00. It's Friday night comedy at Gambit Brewing. And I will be hosting and producing. And we're going to start to do these shows every few months now there. So we really want to make it a good comedy room. So yeah, go check that out. Anybody who likes stand-up comedy, you can go to gambitbrewingco.com. You can get all the details. The Friday night show, I run a weekly open mic there now. We always have 2 professional headliners every single week, and it's free. They can get information on that. Plus just Gambit Brewing in general. I encourage people to get there. It's a fantastic place. The owners are great. They always have things going on there. They have retro video game nights. They have they have so much. They got their own DJ there who's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow night, Friday night comedy, Gambit Brewing. It's going to be a fantastic show.
All right, come back very soon. We got a lot more to talk about. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this show. The family show up in about 10 minutes. Thanks.